Okay, so as many of you know, we just picked up ourselves a new car. I do this car, but a new car, old new car, used car for us. And like always, I like putting dash cams in our cars just to make sure that it's kind of protected against whatever happens. So we got this one here, an Urvolax 12-inch mirror dash cam. Voice control, it says, car backup camera, 1296p, so a little higher, I guess, than standard HD, but not 4K, kind of somewhere floating in the middle, I guess. Full HD, of course, rear view, dual split screen, with GPS though, and a Sony sensor. Right now, 11 ratings, 4.5 stars. Not super inexpensive. You're looking at about $200 US. You do have it two different mounts, so a strap mount, bracket mount. We went with the strap mount for one. It's cheaper, and I just know it. So what we're gonna do is take a look and see what comes in the box. Then I'm gonna mount it in our car, and of course we'll take it out for a drive and see what the image quality is like, because that's kind of important. Also, maybe see what the menu is like on the actual dash cam, mirror dash cam. I keep doing this today, I don't know why. But see what the quality is like, because you know, a lot of us are looking for 4K, and I get that. I do also like 4K, but I've also seen a lot of companies that are like, it's 4K, and then you look at the footage and you're like, yeah, maybe it says it is, but is it just really low resolution, you know, up-resed? Because sometimes really good 1080, or in this camera's case, 1296, maybe it's just as good or better depending on what you're paying, right? So that's coming up. All right, so here it is again, Urvolax, I don't know, Urvolax 11X dash cam mirror. It also says it comes with 33 feet of cable for your backup camera, which is good. And I do like this, actually. Waterproof rear camera can be installed inside or outside of your car. So I don't like doing a lot of wiring stuff. So my hope is that I can just kind of install it possibly in the actual like rear window, because I just want to be able to see back there if something happens. I'm not using it as a like here reversing, braking and stuff like that. Don't really care. It's really more recording just in case you get rear-ended for me, for that's my wants. This is the other one that's kind of nice, anti-glare and no overexposure, because the one that I have in the Camaro, for instance, which I like, when it does get a lot of light on it, it has a really bad like reflection / glare, and it's kind of hard to see a little bit. It's great as a mirror, but it does reflect, which means when it's got the screen on, it's a little hard to see in bright lights. We'll see if this one's a bit better. And of course, this one here does have its own GPS that you can probably, I would guess, mount on the dash or wherever you need it to mount. And upgraded 2-channel mirror dash cam system. Cool, right? But yeah, it seems like it's got a good review. Nice, looks like everything looks good in the ad, which it should. All right, let's take a look. Here it is. Here's the box. Urvolax smart streaming video mirror dash cam. Seems like a lot of info to say on it. The box is fairly heavy. Now we got this from Amazon US. And just kind of be aware, it did take some time for it to get here. So if you're like, oh, I got Prime and I'm ordering from the US, that's great. It doesn't get here any faster. It like literally took 2, maybe 3 weeks to get here. So here in Canada. Now, if you're in the US, then you just ignore everything I just said, because it won't matter. How do I open this? Here it is. That's upside down. Maybe that's upside down? Yep. All right, so here we go. Hoping you guys can see that okay. I think so. It's got a nice packaging. So here it is. This is going to be just the clip. So usually there's like a little rubber band that fits on there that holds that. And I'm wondering, Type-C plug with wire. Okay, I'm good. Does it have Is the camera actually on this somewhere? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't look like when you look at it, you guys can see that, right? It doesn't look like you're like, where's the camera? I don't know. Okay, I'm curious now. And what are we getting here? All kinds of goodness. So here's your 12 volt power, as well as looks like there's your straps right there. Okay, it is mini USB, so not even micro USB, mini. Now that's actually probably not a horrible thing because you want this to be a little stronger, and I find the mini, just the adapter itself, it's a little thicker, so because of that, it may be a little stronger. This looks like your rear view camera, possibly, right there. Maybe it's a separate camera that you plug in. Oh, so you plug this actually separately, and then it plugs into this. Oh, so the camera isn't physically on the actual mirror; it plugs into it. So a lot of goodness there, I guess. This, yeah. See, you got camera number 2. Now I don't know which is which. There's a rear one and a front one. I'm guessing this may be the front, and this may be the rear. We'll figure that out. But you get 2 cameras. Just realize not physically attached. You're gonna have to run a cable to it. A lot of cables. This is your GPS sensor. Okay, that's gonna go on the dash. There's your tons of cable. So there's your 30-foot cable. And it does have, it looks like, all these. And this is, if you're running it, I would think, into like your reverse light so that it senses when that's on. That's my hope. And then you get another USB. I think this will be for maybe your GPS and maybe your GPS. What does it say? Front, oh no, front camera and rear camera. So they plug into this. This plugs into the actual mirror. There's a little USB right there. So basically, cameras plugging into here, and then power plugging into here. And you have another port right there. I don't know what that's for. Oh, it does come with a, it looks like it has a SD card in it. That's handy. Oh, and it's a nice one too. SanDisk, 32 gig. I'll take that. That's a win. Because sometimes they're like free card and you're like, cool, that's never gonna get used. But that one's good. Silica gel, extra little bands, very nice. And some clamps to hide your cables if you need those. Cleaning cloth, a little tuck-in thing for your cables to tuck it into your molding and stuff like that of your car. And of course, the dash cam user manual. All right, so just so you guys know, I am not gonna show you how to install it because really that's different cars, different installation guides. And I'm not gonna go too deep into this. Really, I just want the cameras to function. Hopefully they will. And we'll take a look at the menu settings. And we'll do that right now. So I'm gonna head outside and see if I can install this thing. All right, stay tuned. All right, my friends, so we have already installed the camera. Now, I haven't done the back one or the rear one, and I honestly don't know if I'm going to, because we do a lot of reviews on dash cams, and if I have to wire it and unwire it and to rewire a new one, and it's just a pain in the butt. Front dash cams are easy. You just place it, run the cable. But rear cams, not easy. So let's hop in the car, and you can see kind of what I've done. Yes? Yeah. All right. Let's go do that. Okay, so we're in the car. You can see me in the mirror. You can see how good the mirror is. The mirror is really nice and clean, which is fantastic. And I've got it set up, but I've tucked in the majority of the cables. You can see all the cables kind of just going up there. But just be aware, there's a fair bit of cables that actually comes from this. So it still does look not quite as clean as I'd like it, but I don't know what else to do. But everything's running good there. And if you look down in the corner right there, there's a little GPS unit. So I do have it all kind of running through the molding of the car. The physical camera, you guys can see it right there. So I got it stuck to the mirror, which is nice because you can't really see it when you're just kind of sitting here. And again, I don't have the rear view plugged in because, well, I don't think I'm going to use it. So it's just a little more of a pain for me. So we're going to turn the car on now. And this should start up right away so you can kind of see time. So ready and power. So not too bad. That fires up pretty good. You're going to get the screen show up. And the screen's actually quite good. Now it does come up and tell us that the rear camera is not connected, but not that big of a deal. But it is quite good. It's actually, if you look at what it's seeing, it's almost brighter than it actually really is. So that's really nice. Now the other thing in here too is you do have your time and date, and that's something in the settings that you can decide if you want to have show up all the time or not. I don't know why it just switched to 151. I'll have to look at that. GPS, of course, is on, telling me what direction and the speed. It is recording currently, and all your little settings. So this is saying that the GPS is on, audio is on, SD card is in, it's charging, and it's got a 3-minute loop. So that's good. Now, if you tap on it, you can see that you can lock this, take a photo. It is currently recording. You can't do a play or anything because it's in recording mode. Now in this, you can see that you can just scroll up and down, so you can kind of see everything that the camera is seeing, and you just have it however you want it to see all the time. When it's not recording, you can go into settings. So this is where you're going to see all your settings like this. Now this is your recording resolution, and this one's a little confusing to me because it did say 1296, I believe, was capable, but this really is only saying 1080p and 720 are the two options. So I'm not too sure there. This is your loop recording where I have it 3 minutes. You can do 1, 2, or 3. Display your speech button. Sound recording, if you want to record sound or not. Do you want it to beep when you're doing stuff? The volumes. EV is like exposure compensation, so if you find that it's too bright, you can darken it down a bit, or vice versa. Power off is I think how fast it powers off when it's not getting power, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. G sensor, that's for movement. Clock settings. Time always on, that's the one that will show this. Language, LCD power saver. So this is important because it's defaulted to off, and what means is that will stay on all the time. But really you want that to just become a mirror once you're driving, because if not, it's kind of distracting. So I have mine set to a minute, but as you can see in here, you got 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 3 minutes. GPS status, right? You can come in here and see the status, how many actual satellites it's connected to, your longitude, etc., etc. Speed units, I'm in kilometers, but you can set it to miles. Speeding reminder, if you want to turn it, so it'll look at what kind of speed. I think it's just, you can set it. So if you go over those, so if you're a person that speeds a lot, you can say, if I go over 120, tell me I'm speeding, right? So that's probably not a bad thing, because at least where we are, you can do 110. 110 is the speed limit. So if I'm doing 120 because I'm not paying attention, let me know. Auto record, event cycle, and then little things like when it boots, do you want it to display the front camera, the rear camera, or both? If you had the rear ones hooked in. If you want to mirror the front or rear cameras, you want to flip the front or rear cameras. Reverse line correction. So again, if you had the rear one set up, you could adjust the actual lines for parking. Icons, switch, reset, and your SD card info. So that one's basically telling you how much storage you have or what's taking up storage on your SD card at this point in time. Settings are good. I have to figure out why that's switching. It might be, I think I might know what it is. I think I have my, what is it, my GMT set wrong, wherever that is. I saw it somewhere. 12 hours. It does, I wish it scrolled not quite as crazy. See, yeah, GMT +5. I think we're like GMT -4 or something like that. because it bases itself, yeah, there we go. It bases itself off getting satellite information, right? So that's better, that's accurate. So it actually pulled the time straight from the satellites. Good. So if you set your clock and this keeps changing, it's because your time zone is wrong. All right, guys, it's getting a little dark right now, but I am going to take this out for a drive probably tomorrow, and we'll be able to see what the video quality is like. All right, more to come. Stay tuned.
All right, I'm just interrupting this video for 2 seconds, just hopping in here because number one, I want you guys to be aware of, maybe this isn't a big deal on a Windows computer, but as of now, on a Mac, the file format that this camera records in is a blah, 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 whatever, date and time, .ts. Now, I know for me, the computer can play it. That's fine. We've got enough codecs and everything installed in here that it can play it. But for me to be able to show you guys in like an editor, like a Final Cut or anything like that, because it's a .ts, Final Cut was like, I have no idea what this is. So all the footage that I wanted to see and edit and play with, we had to re-encode. Now, it's probably not a big deal as a dash cam because you just want to be able to see it and see if you can capture the incident. But it doesn't seem to be a format that is widely used. TS, it's like a streaming format. So again, I'm not 100%. VLC played it fine because I have VLC installed on my Mac. My Mac played it, but I couldn't edit it until it had to get re-encoded, which wasn't that hard, but had to be done. All right, guys, back to the video.
All right, guys, so we have had a chance to look at the footage from this camera. My wife, Mary, has been using the car for the last couple of days, and so she's been driving with it, with the dash cam in different conditions, so daylight, dusk, rain, and dark. So you guys will be able to see it. And I'll put all the footage up here kind of while I'm talking about it. So a few things. First off, I don't see where the 1296 is. I'm not sure where this is or why I'm not seeing it. I'm only seeing 1080 and 720. So 1080, as far as I can tell, is all you get. If there's someone else that has used this camera and knows where this 1290, 1296 is, please let me know, because as of now, I'm not seeing it. In regards to 1080p footage, it's fine. It's 1080p footage. Colors and everything seem actually really good, but you do see as the sun goes down, as the image starts to, or as it gets darker out, the sensor really starts to bring in a bunch of noise and grain. Is that to be expected? Well, for sure. It's a small sensor. It's not much you can do about this. And if this processor inside the mirror is at times, even though we didn't test the rear view camera, having to process two cameras at once, maybe that's why we're not seeing as high a resolution in the camera. But it is 1080p. I have definitely seen some better cameras at probably same to more expensive price that produce, I would say, a possibly equal or better image for sure. Setup and everything really easy. Menu really easy. The manual leads you through everything. A few things to realize that I didn't even know when I was installing this. Number one is that the mirror is or can be voice activated. So you can say take a photo. It takes a picture for you, which is great. You can say turn the screen off, turn the screen on. And they actually work really well. Now, don't have your radio or music cranked up, of course. You need to be able to hear your voice. But in daily driving, I had no problems, even with the vent and everything on, telling the display to turn on or turn off or take a photo, and it did it like 99% of the time. I was actually very impressed with that feature. GPS and everything does really good. The other thing that you want to kind of be aware of with this is setting this speed limit or announcement or alert, I guess it is, because
I was like, oh, it's 110 is our speed when we drive on the highway, so I'll set it at 120, not thinking that any time that you go to pass somebody, you're usually increased possibly faster than that, and of course your dash cam starts beeping and lighting up and all kinds of stuff, and it can be a little distracting if you're in the middle of trying to pass somebody and your dash cam starts going off. So we actually changed, we kept the speed limit alert on, but we set it up even higher. So I can't remember, maybe 130, 140 for us, so that you know you're not getting way past that. But I would have almost liked to have seen a feature that says, we'll put an alert at this speed if that speed is consistent for longer than 30 seconds or longer than, you know, a minute or something like that, because then they realize that you're not just trying to pass somebody. Other than that, build quality is good. Again, we haven't tested the rear view camera, not something that I'm going to use, but front camera decent. Would have liked to have seen 4K, and maybe they make a 4K. Would have liked to have seen 1296, but I can't seem to find that. That's it. You guys can judge from what you've seen in the footage based on what you think, or if you think that this camera is worth it. And I'm going to leave you there. Links down below if you do want to pick it up from Amazon. And I'm gonna go. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that little notification bell, and we will see all of you in tomorrow's video. Later, my friends.